Hey guys, OG Albina here, bringing you guys my APA Academy Season 2 Week 9 battle here against our good buddy Blinn and his Canberra Cradilys. Very talented dude. I talked about and gassed him up in the team builder, but just to reiterate here, he's uploading this league, and I really do think his content is really good. I think he stepped up his game when it comes to graphics and all that stuff, and just presentation and stuff overall. And he's playing very well across this and all his other leagues. So I definitely recommend you go check him out. He's great in Little Cup. He's great in Standard. So please go show him some love. Really good buddy of mine. I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, with that being said, if you are interested in more so the 6 mons I'm bringing in, like their sets and stuff like that, EVs, matchup between us and all that stuff, I do recommend you go check out the team builder. I'll leave a leave a link to that in the description down below. But just a quick rundown of the 6 we're bringing. We are bringing an Aquaberry Fizz Def File Plume, with Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain, Strength Step, and Toxic. Relax Nature to, check the stack attack a better and take less from Gyro Balls. We're bringing a Kasib Stealth Rock 3 attacks Jirachi with Grass Knot, Flash Cannon, Shadow Ball. We are bringing a pretty bulky Mega Manectric here with just 4 attacks, Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, Signal Beam. Bringing a Charty Berry Fizz Def Mandibuzz with Foul Play, U-Turn, Roost, Toxic. A Koba Berry Infernate with Bulk Up, Slack Off, Fire Punch, and Close Combat Iron Fist ability. We're rocking with 4 Resist Berries this week. If that isn't a me team, then I don't know what is. And then we're running with a mixed Life Orb Deoxys, pretty standard stuff. But yeah, you can see the 6 my opponent elected to bring. I talked about it in the team builder, but this is probably one of the worst matchups I've really ever had to build for. I don't have a ground resist on my team, and he has the literal ground, and I cannot stress that enough. He has the ground, and I don't have a resist to ground in general, so it's going to be really tough. And you can see Blinn noticed that in prep, and he brought straight HO versus me. He brought 6 mons that can hit really hard and do a lot of damage to my team, so we're going to have to be very careful around that. So the 6 that he ended up bringing, though, is going to be Mega Pinsir, Stack Attack, Groudon, Feraligatr, Necrozma Dawnwings, and Zeraora. Right off the bat, my game plan going in, I want to lead with my Vileplume, simply because it leads good against 4 out of 6 of his members. Unless he leads off with the Pinsir or the Necrozma, I should be good, and I can pivot out on those things early game pretty easily and not be as worried about them. So I figured Vileplume would be good. It would, catch the Gator, catch the Groudon, Stacka, or the Zera even. So, and I figured Zera would be a pretty likely lead against me too, because I did not bring my ground type in Piloswine, so if he is, like a potential special set or a mixed Life Orb set with like Volt Switch or something like that, or even without Life Orb, just a mix set in general with Volt Switch, I figured maybe he won't lead that, but he's actually going to lead off with his Mega Pinsir, if you could not tell by the nickname there, as we lead off with our Vileplume. And turn 1, I'm going to switch out. There's nothing I can do, to really threaten this thing initially, and we can live 1 return, but there's no point in taking the chip at this point, as he is going to Mega Evolve. I'm going to go into my Manectric. I don't really have anything that wants to take a return from this thing, like, just at all. I think I'm still 2-hit KO'd in regular form with my regular Manectric, but he is just going to elect to get up the Stealth Rock, and that's interesting to me. It's good intel to know. At this point, I'm thinking he might not be SD because of the fact that he has Stealth Rock, and I'm thinking he wants Quick Attack, Earthquake / Close Combat, and Return. But yeah, he's going to pull the switch out into his Necrozma Dawnwings. I'm going to throw off my Mega, and I'm initially going to go for a Flamethrower here. Flamethrower being that if you want to pivot into his Zeraora, trying to get some momentum off of me, Volt absorbing me, that could be a play. Or if he wants to go hard Groudon to stop my Volt Switch, I cannot let the thing in for free, so I figured Flamethrower was probably my best play. He's going to go into Necrozma and take absolutely 0 from this Flamethrower. He is very bulky. It doesn't really give me any info other than he might be max HP, but I'm just going to Volt Switch out this next turn, but the damage that thing took is pretty bad there. As I am going to go out into my Mandibuzz right here, take Rock Chip, as Blinn makes a great play, and he goes for the Toxic. A Toxic on my Mandibuzz is phenomenal for his team. He really doesn't appreciate this one at all, breaking it, and Rock plus Toxic is going to make it a lot easier for him. So it was a great play in his end, getting up that Toxic, and on the pretty obvious Mandibuzz switch in, as he is going to switch out right here into his Zeraora, as I believe I'll just go out for a Toxic myself. I didn't think he'd go hard Zeraora, or no, I go for a U-turn. Sorry, I'm a little bit ahead of myself. I go for the U-turn, grab him some momentum. I figured he wouldn't want to stay in, nonetheless, just because of the fact that, I have, he has a Zero Aura in the back and stuff like that, and he doesn't want to get hit with Dark Move, and, you know, 4 times super effective and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm going to go into my Vileplume. I'm going to go for a Toxic, expecting him to switch out, as he actually ends up going for a knockoff, which was pretty interesting in all honesty. I didn't think he would end up going for that. We lose our Aqua Berry, but that's not too big of a deal. We can definitely survive without it. We can get a big Toxic off on this thing, start slowly chipping it down, and this thing cannot break us, like, at all. This is probably our best Zero Aura check on our team, especially we see now that he is physical. Based on the damage, he was physically offensive, as I'm just going to go for a Strength Sap on the incoming Pinsir, get all the way back up to full, and lower this thing's attack, which is going to make it a lot easier to pivot around on this thing. And you're going to see, especially in this games, where Strength Sap is a broken move. It's really, really dumb. I can't imagine if other mons, you know, actually got, like, you know, better mons and stuff like that. But this is going to allow me to pivot out into my Manectric, get an Intimidate off, bring this thing down to -2. I expect him to make the Earthquake play, which he does, so good play on his end, but I knew for a fact I could definitely always live due to my bulk investment. And I really, again, have nothing to switch into this thing, so I figured that would probably be my best bet right here. Get it down to -2, and then, you know, kind of go from there. As right here, he is going to switch out, fair play on his end, go out into the Zero Aura, as I do click the Flamethrower once again. Again, I am not letting in that ground for free, and I don't want to heal this thing up after Poison Chip and all that stuff is actually potentially into a KO range from a Flamethrower, so that's obviously really, really nice for us, and I cannot let in that ground for free. It's just not going to happen. I cannot let it happen. I am going to save my Manectric here, though, just simply because I have a pretty easy switch in my Vileplume, and I do not want to, I want to keep it in the back as, like, a potential Intimidate buffer later in the game, because that's its role here in this game is to, you know, just check his physical offense and the fact that we can, you know, buffer their attacks and stuff like that and make it to where they don't do damage to our other members on our team and stuff like that. But yeah, he's going to switch out his Zero Aura here. I didn't think he'd necessarily want to save it potentially, but I did go for the Strength Sap just to get my health in case he wanted to attack one more time, as he goes right back out into the Pinsir, and this is very, very unfortunate. Again, this Pinsir is just stupid good versus me. And I don't have a switch into it. Being that he is -1 now, though, I do feel pretty comfortable in going into my Mandibuzz. If I do have to sack it off here, that's completely fine. It lets me get into something else for free, which is obviously really, really good. And then I can pivot into my Manectric one more time and get it down to -2, as he actually reveals the Swords Dance. So he is Stealth Rock, Swords Dance. Return definitely knocks us out at +1. However, if he is Quick Attack, then he cannot knock us out. I mean, yeah, he can't knock us out, and he reveals to be the Quick Attack, showing us he does not have the return for normal Flying Stab, and he probably has Earthquake in his last move slot. I'm going to go for a Foul Play, get a ginormous chunk off on this Pinsir before going down to the Toxic Chip, but that is completely fine. Putting this thing in range of literally everything else on my team is obviously phenomenal for me. And all that stuff. So I'm going to go into my Deoxys, and I figured he might want to make the really risky play going into Necrozma, because I am screaming Extreme Speed, and he literally just showed me a Quick Attack. But I am going to go for the E-Speed, knock out the Pinsir. He does leave it in, so that's really, really nice. It's one of the big, big threats to our team gone. Like I said, I did not switch into that thing whatsoever. As this next turn, he is going to pull the switch out into his Feraligatr. This turn, I'm going to choose to pretty much just sack off my Mega Manectric. It doesn't really do too much more in this game other than Intimidate buffer this thing, or potentially Groudon or something like that. As I am going to take a little bit of Rock's Chip, get the Intimidate off, and this will also let me scout to see if he does have the Aqua Jet, which he likely does, and he shows it right here, which actually isn't going to knock us out after that, and that gives us 2 turns of Life Orb Chip, which is obviously really, really nice. Aqua Jet not being affected by that Sheer Force because it doesn't have a secondary effect, but we're going to be able to get 2 turns of Life Orb Chip off on this Feraligatr before we do eventually go down to the second one right there, and I'm going to be able to go right back out into my Vileplume and put some pressure on my opponent's team right here, as he is going to elect to switch out into the Necrozma right here. Probably just a very, very safe switch on his end. I figured he might want to stack off the Zero Aura, but I am just going to go for a Giga Drain right here, get a little bit of chip back right here, back up to full and all that stuff, basically just nullifying the rock shit that we had. And it's going to force him either into a turn where he needs to go for the Psychic move, or he needs to recover off his damage. So I figure going into Jirachi was a pretty safe play for me right here, as I am going to take a little bit of Rock Chips, and he does reveal the Morning Sun. So at this point, I'm thinking he is likely going to be a Moongeist Beam, Photon Geyser, Toxic, and then Moonlight Set, obviously, which is, again, fine with me. I'm going to go for a Shadow Ball, just to try and potentially 2-hit KO this thing, do a lot of damage to it, as we do enough damage to 2-hit KO it. As it goes from the Moongeist Beam, pops our Cassibberry, so we will definitely live this thing, as we get to see the cool Moongeist Beam animation and all that stuff. You know, and you're going to see his Moongeist Beam actually does more damage than our 4 times effective Shadow Ball did to him through our Resist Berry, which is insane how strong that Mon was right there. But he is going to switch over here knowing that he is going to potentially be 2-hit KO'd by us. as I just go for another Shadow Ball. I had no reason to play around with this thing. I almost clicked Rocks just to get him up this game, but again, it's not going to be that big of a deal if I don't get up Rocks. We're going to get off a Shadow Ball right on this Groudon. This is completely fine, though, because I can go for a Grass Knot, and depending on his spread, I can totally knock him out with this Grass Knot. If he's bulky, he lives. If not, he totally goes down. He is going to get brought down pretty low and then go for the Rock Polish. Now, this is absolutely terrifying. At this point, I make a really, really, really big misplay. So you're going to see right here, he reveals the rest. Really, really cool set. I didn't think of it all. I'm not going to front. I did not think of it at all. And I'm thinking right here, I'm sacking off my Jirachi. I'm just going to go for Flash Cannon because it'll knock it out from this range, and it'll do the most damage to whatever else wants to come in other than the Feraligatr, but I don't even think he's going to, want to go into that. I did not take into account Resto Chesto, and I did not take into account the fact that literally other than Zero Aura, which would have died to Grass Knot plus Toxic potentially, I think. And if not, I could just pivot out into my Vileplume. If he, for some reason did decide to switch out, I could just click Flash Cannon the next turn. I had no reason not to. As he's going to reveal the rest right here, and he's actually going to pop the Chesto Berry right after, actually. So he is Resto Chesto Rock Polish Groudon, which is a really, really cool set in getting back up his health versus my team and staying out of priority range from, like, Deoxys and stuff like that, which is pretty insane. If I would have went for Grass Knot, I could have potentially, just gone to Deoxys and revenged him with E-Speed, but I make the terrible play of going for Grass Knot, which is definitely not the move, as he is going to go for an Earthquake this next turn and be able to knock out my Jirachi. Now, this is really scary, but this also tells me that he is likely not Swords Dance, which is obviously really, really nice for me right here as Jirachi goes down, because my Vileplume can actually still check this thing pretty decently. If he's not Fire Move, actually I can live any Fire Move from full from this range after Rocks. And if he's not Fire Move, then I can actually potentially beat this thing 1v1 pretty easy, as he is going to elect to pull the switch out into his Stack Attack. And now I was very surprised that he made this switch. I didn't really see the reason in which he would want to do this. Being that this is actually my check to the Stack Attack, I'm just going to stay in and click Giga Drain again as we get all the way back up to full. And this thing really can't do a lot of damage to us. If he wants to go for the Trick Room, we can beat this thing 1v1 and then potentially, beat a lot of his other mons down and stuff too. As he is going to pull the switch out into his Necrozma. I'm going to go for a Giga Drain, again, just trying to get chip on that stack as we get a little bit of chip on the Necrozma right here. I'm going to pull the switch out, basically sacking my Infernape. I have nothing to switch into this thing at this point at all. And even, we have a chance to live Moongeist Beam if he for some reason goes for that. But Photon Geyser is much, much more likely if he does have it, as he does reveal to have it. And he's going to just blow our Infernape away. There's no way we ever live this hit. And down it goes. So our phenomenal win con and prep, the set that I was really proud of, did absolutely nothing this game. However, this is fine. This is actually going to give me a switch into my Deoxys. And I can go for a knockoff right here. And I'm expecting him to want to switch out. The reason I say I'm expecting him to want to switch out is because if you look at his team, and if you take away Necro, Vileplume sits on everything. If he saves this Necro, he 100% has a chance to, obviously once my Dio goes down, he still has Gator in the back, and Groudon that can potentially live a hit and all that stuff. No, Groudon can't live a hit from the range it's at, but he still has Gator in the back. And Stacka, because I don't have a fighting move, but he doesn't know that, I guess. If he saves this Necro right here, he always has a way of beating my Vileplume, and I just don't have enough monster sack to switch out and keep it healthy at this point. So I figured he'd want to switch out probably potentially into the Zera, just sacking it off, and then go into Stack Attacker or something like that. However, you're going to see right here, as I go for a knockoff, because it covered him staying in, because we'd be able to knock him out, and going into another thing where we can knock off their item, he's actually going to stay in, and despite being Colbur Berry, Deoxys is just too strong. We're going to be able to knock out this Necrozma through the Colbur Berry right here. And this is amazing, because this went from a game that I had no business winning to a game that I can pretty feasibly win at this point with our Vileplume. As right here, I am just going to go for an extreme speed on the Gator. If you wanted to like overplay and go for an Ice Punch or something like that, I did not want to risk my Vileplume. There was absolutely no reason for it. He does go for the Aqua Jet, however, and he is going to be able to knock out our Dio. However, like I said, our Vileplume is looking absolutely phenomenal at this point in the game. Just the fact that Strength Sap, lowers their attack stat while healing me, the number of their attack stat. We're going to be able to take a bunch from this Ice Punch, but you're going to see this Strength Sap is going to bring us all the way back up to full, which is pretty insane, while simultaneously lowering his attack, which is going to pretty much allow me to 1v1 all of his special attack, all of his physical attackers left, which are, all of his mons left, just like that. This Ice Punch next one is actually not even a 2-hit KO. I'm going to go for another Strength Sap just to get it completely up to full. My goal right here, it's going to get a little bit stally, and I probably will speed it up after I kind of explain my thought process right here. is to stay above a Adamant Groudon's Fire Punch if he for some reason has that over Stone Edge, and to stay out of range of an Adamant Ice Punch from Gator. Adamant Ice Punch does 133 max, and I believe Adamant Fire Punch did like 145 or something like that from Groudon. So if I can stay out of range of those hits and then I can Strength Sap them all off, we can potentially win with Vileplume right here. As he's going to go into the Zera, basically sacking it off. He's going to go for a Dual Chop. This next turn, I just go for another Strength Sap just to be safe and, you know, get back a little bit of health. And this is where I am going to elect to speed up. Because like I said, you can see there's a lot of time left in this game. That's right here. Like I said, my goal is to stay above that 145-ish mark. Depending on what's in, I'm going to go for the Giga Drain. I know I can for sure, you know, stay above that at that point, and we're going to knock out the Zeraora right there. He's going to go back out into his Feraligatr, and I could Giga Drain to knock this thing out, but again, that would be the worst positioning possible for me. I'm just going to spam Strength Sap until I'm out of range of the Groudon's hit in the back, as he is going to switch out right into the Stakataka, and despite being at full health, Strength Sap still works in a way that it'll lower their attack. Even if it's not getting me back any HP, it's going to lower their attack the correct amount. And right here, he's going to reveal the Rock Blast, and this does actually bring us down below the range in which, you know, Groudon can kill us. And I'm going to go for a Giga Drain, knowing I can't knock him out with that one. He goes for another Rock Blast, as I just go for another Strength Sap right here. Again, I have to make sure that I'm 100% out of range of the Groudon and the Gator in the back, as he is going to spam Rock Blast once again. Get back up to a pretty decent amount, as I do go for one more Strength Sap because I am just out of range of Gator, but not out of range of a Groudon potentially. Goes for one more Rock Blast, only gets 3 hits this time, and we are out of range. I am going to go for a Giga Drain, knock out the Stakataka, and we are looking pretty nice at this point. He goes back out into the Gator, essentially hoping for a crit at this point. A crit can definitely knock me out from full. There's not much I can do about that. It's just a roll, and I have to hope I get it. I'm going to go for the Strength Sap, though. I am playing with fire right here. If we do get crit, I can't be too mad because I've been sitting in for about 15 turns or so doing this, just spamming Strength Sap and Giga Drain and stuff like that. And so he's going to go out into the Groudon, and like I said, even if we are at full health, he still loses his attack. He's going to go for an Earthquake, and this is going to do a pretty big chunk for being a -1 attack, -1. But we're going to be able to get back up some health right here, back up to 175. And this next turn, I'm going to go for a Strength Sap just in case to stay out of range of the Feraligatr, as there's the crit that he was looking for. If we did not Strength Sap that turn, we lost the game. But thankfully we did, and Vileplume is going to be able to Strength Sap one more time, just to guarantee stay out of range of that Gator. We would have been right there, but I couldn't really tell with the rolls and stuff like that, so I wanted to be more safe than sorry. He's going to go for Stone Edge, go for the crit. He does not get it. We are going to be able to knock out the Groudon with our Vileplume right here, and next out is going to come the Feraligatr. I'm going to send it back down to normal. If he crits us, he wins. If he does not, we win the game with our Vileplume. He does not, we just go straight for the Giga Drain, and we're able to knock out this Gator and pick up a ridiculous 1-0 here against our buddy Blinn in a wild endgame. I thought I just got washed this game. I thought I had a 4-0 loss. I thought there was absolutely no way in which we won this game. But Big Vileplume really putting the team on its back. Blinn's an Aussie, so we played really late at night my time. And when I say I screamed when this game happened and concluded and woke up half the house, I'm not lying. I was absolutely juiced and ecstatic for this. Vileplume proving, I had it in another league before in the past, proving to be one of the best tier 5s in my opinion in the league format, just absolutely putting the team on its back. It has definitely earned this week's thumbnail, as I'm sure you guys saw earlier. But with that being said, that's the conclusion of this really crazy battle against Blinn. GG's to him. Very unfortunate way to lose. I know he was a little tilted after. I definitely would be too, but I'm sure he'll bounce back. Like you saw today, he has a terrifying team offensively. I'm sure he can just break through a lot of people's defensive cores and just, you know, wreak havoc on the rest of the league. So I definitely wish the best of luck to him going forward. Be sure to go check him out. If you guys did enjoy the battle, be sure to like, be sure to, you know, sub so you can catch all the battles as they go up every week and all that good stuff. And yeah, with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you guys next week. Later.